What's up?
So, comparing yourself to others. What I want to talk about is my personal experience of where I've done it before, but I also want to get into about why it's detrimental to your road to success and ways to keep from doing it, right? So, here's a story about, an example about a moment where I was kind of getting stuck and comparing myself to others. There was a time, only a few years ago, where I was living in St. Louis at the time. And I'd already been there damn near 10 years at that time. Moved from LA to St. Louis, and I was there for about 10 years. And until about the 7th year, I started taking a look around. My twin brother here, he had already had a child. I had already been through a few relationships that, to me, it felt like wasn't really that progressive. It was, I don't want to say necessarily a waste of time, but I didn't really gain what I thought I should have gained out of it at the time. And I definitely wasn't where I thought I should be at that time in my life. At the age that I was, and just career-wise where I was, creatively where I was, financially where I was. And all that came from, or most of it anyway, came from comparing myself to people around me. People my age, people who are doing similar things. You know, I said, my twin brother, he got a kid. Why I ain't got a kid right now? I should be there right now, right? Friends of mine who were exactly where they wanted to be career-wise, and I was nowhere near that, you know? I was nowhere in there. I had a job that it was paying the bills, and it paid decent, but it was just paying the bills. It wasn't anything that I was passionate about. Meanwhile, I had friends over there who did have all that, you know, making plenty of money and was doing something they were passionate about. But all that came from, I didn't even question any of that until it came from comparing myself to the people that are around me, you know? And then, I realized I was pretty miserable doing that too. All that comparison was making me very miserable. I was missing out on the moments that I could be having fun and enjoying myself, you know? I finally came to realize later though, after I left St. Louis and moved back home to California, where we are now, that I'm a lot happier. And why? Because I'm not comparing myself to others. I just accepted my situation exactly what it is, why it needs to, and I'm exactly where I need to be at this given time. And it works perfect for me. I'm happy with it. You know, I'm no longer comparing myself to other people around me. So that's a quick little story about comparison and, you know, how it really gets in the way of succeeding and seeing the road in front of you, you know, because your story is your story. Your journey is your journey. It'll never be the same as anybody else's. It might be similar, but it'll never be the same, right? So, yeah, what's some other things you think maybe?
Yeah, so some ways to avoid doing that, to getting caught up in that type of thinking, I think, would be to, just have an understanding, get to know yourself first. It comes back to knowing yourself, because once you get to know yourself better, you'll understand your journey, and you understand that everybody's journey and everybody's way of being is unique, right? So your journey is your journey. It's unique to you. You had to go through what you had to go through to develop yourself, your character, your wisdom, you know, or your love, or whatever it is that you came here, that you may not even be aware of, that you came here to develop in this life, probably is going to be the most challenging thing for you. But once you get a hang of it and really kind of dive into that, you'll understand your path is unique. So you won't want to compare yourself to nobody else's journey, because it's your journey. It's very specific to you.
Right, and you're too involved in your journey to even notice anybody else's situation.
Right. So, you know, what time we got? We still got time. We'll bring it over this way. Keep pushing this way. Let's just chill right here. Let's just walk. So yeah. There we go. Cool. So So y'all might have to just ignore that noise. We out here, so a lot of shit going on around us, but we staying focused. So yeah, like I was saying, that's one way to avoid having to get caught up in that way of thinking about trying to compare yourself or your journey to another person's journey. Just know that yours is unique. Also, um, another reason why you shouldn't do it is because it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of mental energy. You could be using that energy to focus on your shit and developing yourself. If you try to steady looking at somebody else and what they got going on, or how you don't have what they got, or whatever it is they got going on, that's gonna distract you from your fucking goal and your focus and your mission. So just stay focused on what the fuck you got going on. That's one way to avoid trying to compare yourself. Don't waste your time doing it, because it takes enough energy just keeping focused. I guarantee you motherfuckers, if you hear this in the background, you probably distracted. It takes energy to stay focused on the task.
Yeah, right.
So don't waste it. Don't waste that mental energy on shit that don't matter. And if it has anything to do outside of you, it really shouldn't matter. That's all I'm saying.
Let's talk about some of the things that causes the distractions, right? That causes the, when I say distractions, I'm saying the stuff that takes you away from being focused on what you need to be doing instead of comparing yourself to people around you. Obviously, there's social media. There's social media like Instagram and other places that show you all these lifestyles and pictures and images of other people's lives. And in subtle ways, they compare those people's lives to your lives, right? So they make you feel like you should be this way. But one way to avoid a lot of that is, if it helps, get rid of fucking Instagram for a while. If you don't have to have it, don't be on it. Instagram is one good way that can really distract you. Right. Showing you other people's lives and stuff like that. So
hell yeah,
that's one way to avoid the distraction, avoid being compelled to compare yourself to others.
Right, right.
I'm sure there's others.
Just learn to accept. If you learn to accept things as they are, when they are, how they are, you'll probably waste a lot less time trying to achieve some shit that really wasn't meant for you any goddamn way. You know what I'm saying? So just accept it for what it is. Save you some energy in the long run. You know what I mean? I think it just saves you energy, just accepting what it is. Let's take this party over this way. Grab your jacket. Oh shit. Check this out. Yeah, we're gonna move this thing over this way. Here, hold that. Like I said, a lot of shit going on, but we're gonna finish. We're gonna stay focused on the task. It's a mission impossible. All right, that's right. Ain't gonna stop me. He ain't gonna stop me. No sir. We stay focused. That's what we doing. So yeah, check it out. So yeah, like I was saying before, man, it's your journey. It ain't nobody else's journey but yours, right? So comparing yourself to someone else's diminishes your power, is what I was trying to get at. It diminishes your own power and your own energy. You know what I mean? If you really up to par and you got all cylinders firing at once and you're on point doing what you're supposed to be doing with your energy, you really, really don't have shit to worry about. It's really your thing. It's your party. It's your show. But it's unique to you. It's not nobody else's. It's not nobody else's story. It's your story to tell. It's your story. So you know what I mean. If you focus on somebody else, you're gonna lose energy. You're here with lots of energy. You came here, but we diminish our energy by doing shit like comparing ourselves to others, or putting our energy into things that don't really fucking matter. That has nothing to do with our path, our focus, our goals in mind.
I'm gonna speak on this real fast because it's happening in real time. Currently, I'm already in a place. I just caught myself in a situation just now, comparing. Right? I see all these people coming in and out, and then and I think to myself, as a YouTuber, right? There's other people whose videos on YouTube might be considered more prepared. and more professional, right? We don't have all this stuff going on.
Right?
But I'm reminding myself as we do this is our situation,
For sure.
right? And I'd rather you guys view this and see this, because ain't no faking or fronting. You know, it's not gonna be ideal every time.
Nope.
Every situation ain't gonna be ideal. And it's a growth process as well. Learning process, growth process.
And I would love it if you guys grow with us.
Right.
Subscribe.
For sure. Make sure to subscribe and watch
like.
our growth and watch our journey.
Yeah.
And I'd like to hear about your journey as we go. So make sure to leave those comments and let us know.
For sure.
But yeah, here's a great example of what I'm talking about is comparison and not to do it, because that right there could have made me compare ourselves, right? Not compare our situation and say, oh, that's not ideal and I don't want it to be this way. I didn't want all that people walking back and forth and all these other distractions, you know?
I want them to see me like this.
Right. But I'd rather you see what it is, you know? And it's not like that every day. It changes from time to time. But that's the point. That's life, right?
Yeah.
So I could have let that, bother me and start that comparison thing again that I've done in the past, and will probably continue to still do from time to time. Hopefully less of it. But leave some comments to let me know how you feel about that. Actually, I'd really like to hear that. We're working what we got, and it ain't gonna be perfect right now. It'll never be perfect. So yeah, let that be an example of not letting things like that make you compare yourself to other situations and other people, because you are unique and your situations will always be unique. It's not gonna be like everybody else, but that doesn't mean it's no good. It doesn't mean it's not perfect. So
yeah, I think comparison yourself, I think I wish I could have said this better earlier. It diminishes your value as well. Even just for you, it's coming straight from you, straight to source. If you're telling yourself, oh, I'm less than that because I don't have this, or it's not as important, or what information I'm saying is not as valuable because I got shit going on, that's diminishing your value. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys can understand that. That's one main reason why you should never compare yourself. Fuck that.
because it takes away the focus from you.
Yeah. Straight up. But shit.
And it's like putting someone else ahead of you too.
That part.
It's like putting them on a pedestal when you compare yourself to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to grow something is put your energy, put your focus on it. If you focus on something else, what do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
If your focus is on something else, you're not growing your situation, you're growing theirs.
That's some real shit. That's some real shit, because where energy is focused, that's where the shit grows. Right. You know what I mean? If you focus your energy on somebody else's situation, you just helping them out. You're doing their job for them, really.
Right. You ever heard that whole saying, letting someone live in your head rent free?
Yeah, that's what that means.
Yeah. The more you can talk bad or good about them, but guess what? Your focus is still
putting your energy on them.
Your focus is still on them.
Blowing their shit up.
Blowing their shit up.
Yep.
Not yours. The only one we should be focused on is yours, right?
Yep.
So that's another reason not to compare yourself to others.
Yep. That's a form of magic in itself. That's some simple shit. I'm gonna leave that alone. But for real, where you put your focus, that's where the energy follows. So why not? Don't you think it just makes sense to just focus that energy on yourself, so you can get all the shit, all the energy, so you can blow your shit up,
so you can get the benefits.
So you can get the benefits from it. You know what I mean? So don't worry about it. That's another reason why we say don't compare yourself, because it's not about them, it's about you.
Right.
It's you against you.
And you will have others comparing themselves with you, and that can be a distraction as well. You will hear family members, friends, and people around you, close to you or not close to you, comparing themselves with you.
We see that all the time on Instagram and just artists and comments on YouTube. People they're comparing all day,
Especially for your artists, because I know how it is.
Yeah.
That it's very easy to fall into that comparison thing, right? People are doing it for you, and you do it to yourselves. And people do it, it happens a lot. But I've seen it, as an artist, I've seen myself compare myself to other artists. I should be doing that because they were successful with that. That song made them successful. That type of material made them successful. So you're tempted to go, maybe I should do that.
Right.
But the thing is, that is them. Or it may not be. Sometimes they could be copying the next
somebody else. They
right?
look extra
they
corny.
can comparing themselves to somebody and copying them.
Yeah.
Thinking it's gonna work for them.
Yeah.
It may or may not. But the thing is, you have to remain true to yourself. So, as artists, especially you guys, no matter what kind of art you're doing, don't compare yourself to the people around you, the artists around you, and what they're doing just because it looks successful for them. Because it's telling you it was for them.
Yeah.
What's for you is for you. So stay focused on that.
Right.
No matter how unique or how weird you think it is, or what you think people don't want to hear.
Yeah.
There's a niche for everything. And I really mean there's a niche for
I'm
everything.
glad you said that because I need to remind myself of that, man.
Yeah.
That's a constant. Fuck she doing? Damn, I swear to God, boy. Anyway, nosy eye. Anyway, but that's really where the fun is too. You know what I mean? You find your niche, your niche. You find that by sticking to your guns. You know, by not trying to compare, not trying to be nobody else. You develop yourself better anyway. You get to know you. You get to know what your vibe is. You know. I think that ultimately just strengthens who you are as a person. In other words, tune the fuck into you. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned into you. You know? If you're giving in to other people's comparisons of you, then that I think that what's the word? Skews your perspective or your view on yourself. Like I think that gets in the way of you knowing you. Like people could tell me all day about me, right? People do all the time. People do that every day to each other, you know, by just assuming things, you know. Somebody like, you know, here's a good example. I remember when I was, you know, overindulging a lot lately and I started gaining weight. And it's like in my head, I knew it, but I didn't want to accept it. But it was the minute someone told me that I gained weight. You know what I mean? I wanted to be offended, but I knew damn well, you know what I'm saying? But it was more because that person, that's how they saw me. And they were just telling me honestly, they saw me as chubby. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm solid. I'm just a little, you know, I'm still doing my push-ups. I'm solid though,
like
you know?
Right now?
Yeah, but it's really just chubby, you know? But because they had their perspective and I could have given into that and been like, you know, let it shake my view of myself. But, you know, I think it's just still important, even if you are out of shape. Look, stand firm in what you believe in yourself, because that'll be your reality. That'll ultimately be your reality anyway.
That's very true.
So,
whatever you believe in most is what your reality is.
It will be, yeah, for sure. So yeah, man, don't let the comparisons with other people shake that for you. You know, it's easy to do. You know.
Yeah, comparing yourself to anything outside of yourself, we'll say it like that, is detrimental.
Yeah.
Comparing yourself to anything outside of yourself. So, I guess the bigger point behind this is to keep the focus on yourself, right? Don't compare though.
That's why comparing is bad, because it takes you out of the focus of yourself.
That's the biggest reason why comparison is bad, because it takes you away from yourself. And self is what this is all about.
Yeah.
Right? Because without self, there's nothing else.
Yeah, I think comparing yourself to other people too is bad for your self-esteem and your self-image.
Right.
I can just see, I've seen that example of that being from a lot of women that I've dated when they were young, you know, teenage girls going through all types of weight stuff. Other people's opinions and comparing them to other people mess up their self-esteem.
Right, you see that, right? You're like, they're perfect. What are you doing? You were
I've heard
perfect
some
exactly
shit,
the way you were.
I know. Oh, man.
And then because you let somebody who probably
That's
has low
ultimately what
self-esteem, the damn self, who has low self-esteem also.
I mean, there's young girls right now doing this, comparing themselves to some woman on TV, a music video, or some artist, and they thinking that's what's up.
And there's these little boys out here seeing these so-called men acting out these ways that they think is going to make them manly, and it's not at all. And really, he's an insecure person. Yeah. He's an insecure man.
So don't compare yourself. For the young people out there, don't compare yourself. It's a waste of time. Right. However you were made is how you were made, and that's the way it was supposed to be, and you're perfect. Stick to that. Because soon enough, you do it long enough, other motherfuckers going to want to be that. They're going to love you for it.
Seen it so many times.
So don't be comparing yourself to anybody out there.
So wear that crazy hairstyle, make that crazy song, make that painting, make that really weird that video that's vulnerable.
Say that crazy shit, but don't say it too much, because then you're gonna have extra issues. But let it out sometimes.
People are gonna have their opinions.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I guarantee they're gonna have that.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be negative and it's gonna be positive.
Yeah.
But either one, I wouldn't recommend focus on either one of them, the good or the positive.
Check this out. This all comes back down to staying balanced. Stay in the middle. Don't compare yourself. Leave the comparisons alone. Stay focused on your path and yourself. Love yourself. I love you guys. I love me. Love yourself for yourself. We are DV. Holla.